Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest and another odd photos video for you. This one is concerning mysterious scarred orbs. Now, if you've seen my last video about antique photos and the oddities in those, you will know that at one point in time I had a website called Night Watchman Chronicles, which ran from 2004 to 2017. Now, when this website began, and for about 3 or 4 years after the fact, orbs were huge because the internet was still fairly young. They were accepted by the paranormal community, for the most part. And they turned up in photos pretty much worldwide and actually accounted for about 75% of the photos on any given website. They caused their share of controversy. Regular debates on forums, in seminars, on talk shows, and in articles. But as with most popular trends, orbs became tiresome viewing and discussion. Are they appearing any less in photos? Doubtful. Are they being seen on websites as often? No, they're not. Does this mean that orbs are no longer considered important evidence in the paranormal field? This really depends on who you talk to, whose site you visit, or what paranormal show you watch on television. Not too long after orbs seem to have run their course, so to speak, one very popular television paranormal group made the statement in their show that orbs should not be acknowledged as evidence in paranormal research. This statement must have brought gasps from the viewing audience, most of whom had spent hours and hours on various websites, including this group's website, viewing photo after photo of orbs. As expected, other paranormal groups began offering up articles claiming that since orbs could be dust particles, dewdrops, rain, or any number of naturally explained phenomenon, they should no longer be considered as evidence for the paranormal. To keep up with the trends, playing follow the leader seemed to be necessary. The articles, though written intelligently and with logical content, failed in one specific area. These people had no problem telling us what orbs could be and why they should not be considered as paranormal evidence, but they still couldn't tell us what orbs truly are. Since the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines paranormal as scientifically unexplained, it is my opinion that orbs are still very much in the realm of the paranormal. Anyone who has done any kind of ghost hunting will inevitably come up with photos showing orbs at one time or another. Others who have taken pictures at random during family celebrations, vacations, memorial visitations, etc., may have experienced orbs in their photos too. Though we may not know what they are, they certainly aren't shy about showing themselves. The most horrifying aspect of the statement that began the boycott on orbs is the possibility of missing out on important evidence. Many of those viewing the paranormal shows believe and follow the practices of the groups they watch because they believe these people to be experts. There is a lot to be said for experience, but honestly, in the paranormal field, when anything can happen, there are no experts. We are watching educated people offering educated guesses through scientific experimentation who are doing what the rest of us are doing, trying to explain things that are not truly understood or proven. Due to our own experiences with orbs, the statement made by that group and the articles from other groups that followed made us a bit irked, to say the least. Just like anyone else, we wanted more evidence, not just orbs, but that doesn't mean we feel orbs should be ignored as evidence altogether. Needless to say, despite the sudden trend against orbs at that time, we still continued to examine any and all photos we took or received for one specific reason. Though we still cannot say what orbs are, we have had the opportunity to personally view something in orbs that we can't possibly cast aside. We had an orb, or a family/species of orb, that continued to show up for us in photographs no matter where we went. We didn't see them every time, but after that first time of spotting one, we always looked very closely at all our photos, just in case. And you'll see that because of where we noticed that first one, They tended to make sure our eye was drawn to that area or that side of the photo. You'll see what I mean coming up. But before we get started, grab that magic wand and zap that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and consider supporting this channel by buying me a cup of coffee using the link in the description box below. All right, get ready. Here we go. This was our first meeting with the Scarred Orb, and you can see what we mean by scarred on the right-hand picture. We've enlarged from the bigger picture. You might think right off the bat that it's probably just something with their camera, something on the lens, and we did think of that too. Though we always cleaned our lens before we would go out, coached by other paranormal groups. We kind of double did it after seeing this. And to actually see this scarred orb, we had to lighten this photo. And this was a habit that we had anyway, because a lot of times these orbs and other paranormal phenomena would kind of hide in the darkness. So when we lightened up this photo, this scarred orb is what we found. This picture was taken May 16, 2005 at the Eden Cemetery in Rhodes, Iowa. Of course, one photo didn't offer the evidence required to bring orbs back into good standing or into paranormal respect, but it was intriguing. We kept going out upon occasion to different places, again, viewing closely all the photos we took. We never really expected to find another scarred orb, but we looked anyway. On May 20th, 2005, we took this photo that you see on the screen at the Illinois Grove Cemetery near St. Anthony, Iowa. It's a good 25 miles from the location of the first photo. Though not as prominent as in the first photograph, you can see the scarring and kind of the same pattern on this orb as you saw in the very first photo. Only this one is on the move. You can see the blur as it was moving, and the way it looks, it was going to go out of the picture altogether. This is the photo that convinced us that we did not have anything on the camera lens. This orb is at the base of the tree, and yes, it's in the right-hand corner again, but we have the whole orb here. And a different color. It's see-through, whereas the other two were much denser than this. And this is when we decided that we were actually seeing a very interesting phenomenon. Something in orbs that we had not seen on any of the websites that we had viewed before we ever even decided to start taking photos of our own. And the kicker here, this is a daytime orb, taken on June 1st, 2005 in Eden Cemetery in Rhodes, Iowa. On June 25th, 2005, we went to Bentonsport, Iowa for a mini weekend vacation. Bentonsport is in Van Buren County, which is considered a very historical area within Iowa. The towns are old, and many have been kept as original as possible. When evening came, we visited a good number of the surrounding cemeteries and also took pictures within the town of Bentonsport. The photo that you see here, the larger one, was taken of an old building that was once used as a hideaway for runaway slaves. There is no mistaking the scarred orb that is in the upper right-hand corner again, and this one is quite clarified, even though we can only see a part of it. The most interesting part is this location, Bentonsport, is 7 hours away from the original locations that we began taking pictures of these scarred orbs. In April of 2006, we began a 30-day investigation of the Hillside Cemetery in State Center, Iowa. Every night for 30 days, we went out to this cemetery at 8 p.m. and followed the same investigation procedure for 10 minutes each night at exactly the same small area in the cemetery. During this 30 days, our scarred friends showed up in 4 different photographs. The picture you see on the screen right now is the first of those 4. You'll be seeing 3 more, and then the 5th photo comes from an investigation that we did a bit later in the same location for another 30 days, and this time we had one scarred orb show up in a 30-day period. Take notice of the differences in each of these scarred orbs, their color, and where they're situated in the photograph. I'll be silent while you look at these photos, but there is more on the other side, so hang out with me a bit longer, would ya? This photo, taken at the Eden Cemetery on July 9th, 2006. I could not find the original photo for this. 2006 was a long time ago. I'm very lucky that I have all the ones that I've shared with you so far. But as you can see, this one is phenomenally marked. It is a scarred orb. It can't be mistaken as anything else. Using all the photos that I have presented to you in this video, you're about to see the most amazing evidence we discovered, totally by accident, that may put a small niggling doubt in your mind that orbs are only dust particles or some other naturally explained phenomenon. On August 12, 2006, my youngest daughter and I took a walk around Rhodes, Iowa. It was a beautiful night, but we had not had rain for a while, so when the truck went past us up a dirt road, I decided to take 3 photos, as dust is always cool to see in photos. The results of these photos would be exactly what you expect to see. Or are they? Easily seen, the dust was tremendous in the air, although all you can see at this point of the truck is its red taillights already a good distance up the road. This is the second photo of the 3 I took. Despite knowing this was dust, I treated it like any other photo we would take and put it into Photoshop for scrutiny. I must say that I'm very glad I took the time to do this. In the upper right-hand corner of this photo, you can see a large dust particle and 2 smaller ones. But what do you actually see? Had I not taken the time to really look at these photos, I would have missed our scarred friends. This time, there are 2 of them, the 2 smaller ones, though it appears the top one was turned downward and we can only see a small part of its distinct marking. The bottom small one is, again, unmistakable. None of the other orbs in this photo had any kind of distinctive markings. They were dense, yet transparent particles of dust. This was another exciting find because this proved that there's nothing wrong with our camera. Nothing on the camera lens, because now instead of 1, we have 2, and their markings are completely different. Exciting. The last 4 photos that you see in this video, I'll let you view without me talking at all. The first 3 were taken during the 30-day investigation, and the other one was just taken during the day at the Eden Cemetery in Rhodes, Iowa. These last 4 are not scarred friends, but they are phenomenal, and I wanted you to see them. We did get a lot of orbs that looked like these during the 30-day investigations that we did. It was quite something. Let me know in the comments what you think about these scarred orbs. I'd be really interested in hearing. Okay, enjoy. See you in the next video. Take care.